This is a real thing. Two men went deep into an underwater cave with no diving equipment and only a mobile phone. Suddenly, the phone slipped into the water. Their only source of light disappeared in an instant. Greg panicked and fumbled, but he couldn't get hold of anything. He was about to call for help, but his companion turned around and swam away to escape alone before danger struck. On the 29th of January, 2017, Greg, 33, and 3 friends, went to Wayanapa State Park in Hawaii. Soon after, the 4 discovered a famous local underwater cave. The crossing stood with a prominent warning sign: "Tide is fast moving. The caves are dangerous. Do not enter." But Greg doesn't care. His eyes were fixed on the deep waterway. His friends advised him not to go, but Greg said he was learning by doing. So he dove into the darkness. Suddenly, Greg saw a narrow chamber. Excitedly, he dove in. His friends stayed outside and waited. And that's when it happened. The mobile phone fell out of his hand. The cave was plunged into darkness. Greg tries to calm himself down, trying to find a way out of the darkness, but the rapid underwater currents, pushing him to a dead end. The oxygen in his lungs was running out. He felt his way to a deep, bottomless waterway. There was no choice. He had to take a gamble. He swam as hard as he could. Suddenly, the top of his head hits a rocky outcrop. There was a small space for oxygen. He pushed himself up into it. He opened his mouth and sucked in a mouthful of air, but he knew the air wouldn't save him for long. He had to find a way out. He shuddered and groped. He tried to swim in the other direction, but in the darkness, he couldn't tell which way the water was flowing. At this point, his consciousness begins to fade. He tries to breathe, but it was full of seawater. At that moment, friends outside the cave were horrified to learn that Greg was trapped and called the police. 10 minutes later, a helicopter arrived. Professional divers with bright light equipment entered the cave to search for him. Unfortunately, 23 meters from the entrance, they found Greg's body. 5 hours later, rescuers brought Greg's body out of the cave. The expedition ended in irreparable tragedy. While Greg's courage is admirable, the forces of nature are far more powerful. In the face of the unknown, impulsiveness and luck can cost lives.